Hey there, it's Andrea. I was having a conversation last night on private message with a friend who's in Australia. He's one of my longest standing, I guess is a better word, um, internet marketing kind of running buddies. We've uh, we've we've always stayed in touch, and um, he's always been part of my Planet Andrea space. Not because he had to, but because he appreciates it, I believe. Anyway, his name is David Jilks. And David and I were talking kind of about, because of this whole 12-month doing business as yourself 12-month program that I'm concocting at the moment and filling. So I want to make the point right this minute that you can concoct and fill a program at the same time. It's possible. I do it all the time, sometimes with more success than others, and always with the idea and understanding that it's an experiment and iteration. So the people who come to play are on that same page with me. So it's doable. If you think that you have to finish something before you can present it to the world, you're making what I feel like is a pretty big error that most people do make. So don't feel like the Lone Ranger or anything, but it's backwards. And it turns out that it's backwards. Anyway, part of our conversation was about rebooting and like rebranding and refining who the target audience is, so that we can market correctly and have the right content, and have it's not about right or wrong content. Have content that actually serves the people that we're speaking to, and that's kind of like a two-way street. So we can deliver the content that's important to us, and the right people arrive. But then there's also us filling gaps for people and being a bridge between, in my case as an affiliate marketer, being a bridge between what people want to know and what might serve them to get there. Now sometimes that's the actual content that they purchase, like if I sell somebody else's product, and sometimes it's that product used, more often than not, it's that product used as the sort of textbook kind of study guide, resource library thing that we use, and as both a financial vehicle and also as a resource for expert information, because obviously we're not all experts on any of this stuff. We can only be really good in a couple of areas, and then the rest, if we think we're gonna like hone all of these skills and be great in all these areas, we're just kidding ourselves, because that's not how we're built. We're built, at least at this point, human beings are built to specialize in a couple of things, master in a couple of things, and then with this move away from industrialism to information age, we're also built to collaborate with other people in their own greatness. So it's sort of like these pods of greatness that are coming together. It's kind of cool. Anyway, what I wanted to do today is, our conversation, David's and mine, took a turn to how do you so we're kind of branding an upper level. The goal here, the object here, is to kind of think about branding an upper level umbrella that will serve, it will allow for all of the conversations that you want to have, but also be really clear to your audience who is it that should be arriving and who is it that should be paying attention. So when I go to a domain or the name of a, so we're going to cross match across a bunch of websites, so platforms, so Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, regular domain name. We're going to brand all the same across all of them with imagery and words. So having sort of a top level thing that can be a container for your people and you is where we're ultimately heading. Now, it's taken me years to iterate to the one that I'm working on now, which is doing business as yourself. You're probably on the YouTube channel or somewhere, one of the platforms that is now branded with doing business as yourself. For me, that encompasses lots of parts. So doing business, so entrepreneurs, speaking to entrepreneurs, there's people who don't want to do business. There's people who don't want to do it as themselves. There are people who want to be hidden. All of those folks are really not, they could even start that way and be intrigued by the conversation and tune in that way. But people who know that they are absolutely not ever going to, I hesitate to say this because I have a lot of people who come into my space, for instance, and say, oh yeah, I'm never getting on video. So you might not know what you don't know yet, because usually it takes me not very long to somehow, I'm not pushy about it, but somehow inspire people to just go ahead and rip that Band-Aid off and get on video. But anyway, that's just an aside. I don't want to alienate you if that's you, that you think that you'll never be on video, because I've seen it too many times now that it's not necessarily the case. And you may not ever love it. Like, I don't love video, but to have it as a tool in your toolbox for when you might need it is pretty priceless, especially in this day and age of internet interaction, and that's how people can really feel who you are. Anyway, our conversation was about domain names, and I had this realization as we were talking that maybe there's a template that I unconsciously use for domain names, and it's something around, and this isn't firmed up yet, but it's something like a result. So the result that we're all looking for, whatever this we is of the audience, the result that the audience is looking for, combined with a verb. So something that's a proactive, result-based domain is what's. So one of my funny practices, one of my funny habits, one of the ways that I work through all of this stuff, it may seem a little bit strange to some, maybe some, you in particular. I buy a lot of domains, and a lot is relative because there are people who buy hundreds of domains, and they have I don't even know why people buy hundreds of domains. I have about 50 at any given time. Most of the year I have around 50, sometimes 40 to 50. They come and they go a little bit. But one of the things that I've noticed as I was thinking about it was this verb and result thing that kind of helps define the conversation for that topic. I don't use them all, but what I do is I buy domains as sort of a keeper of my ideas. So when I hit on one that it just really feels on point, whether I ever develop it out or not, I am really okay with just letting it sit and marinate for a couple of years even. And it's like a cheap insurance policy for me, that once, if that idea comes to fruition, I have control of the domain and I can build it out whenever I feel like it. There's sometimes that I let go of things later, and that's fine. It's like $10 a year to kind of put this insurance policy on my idea, and not regret later that, oh, I should have done it, and oh, look, somebody else is doing it, and all that stuff. No, I just claim it. So I thought I would show you sort of some of my examples of the domains that I've come up with that seem to fit this model, and I'm going to think about it a little bit further. And you could go to any of them, and probably most of them have nothing on them, or something really old even. Some of them are lead to opt-in pages and stuff. I'm looking at my whiteboard because I've written them down. I lose track too, so I went through not too long ago and wrote these down so that I would have sort of a visual reference. But I always, if you can, buy, I don't know if this will be forward or backward for you, always, if you can, buy your domain, your name on a domain.com, so that you have that, that needs to be a commitment for life for you. If you can have your specific name.com, get it. Sometimes people add an initial or something just to, if it's not available, if it's a more common name. So doing business as yourself is the one that I'm finally feeling right about building out. It's been it's been 6 or 8 years in the making, in the iterating of this to get to it. It's not, I want you to not feel timid about charging forward with things that feel right today and may or may not stick forever, because there will be a takeaway from something else. So I started, it's not even on this list, I started the first domain that had this flavor for me was the Mastermind Partner Program. I think it had the Mastermind Partner Program, or it's Mastermind, and that one still exists. I think the opt-in works. It has a little video on the front of it right now that my daughter made, like one of tiny handful of videos that she made, and I hope she gets back to it at some point. But it was the doing of it, and the it's like you're honing a muscle. You're building your skill set. It's like you're building your understanding of what you want and what you don't want by actually doing things and like saying, no, maybe not that exactly. But it's not a failure, it's only feedback when that happens. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, I have one, I didn't even remember that I had this one, askplanetandrea.com. I think that's kind of new one. It was in passing. Prosperity trip. So it's like prosperity's the result that gets talked about. Trip is the active part. The next one didn't work out so well, at least not yet. It's the online marketing book club. Turns out book club is not an active, it's not something that makes people want to get busy. So we put that one on the back burner. This one I love. Someday I'll probably develop it out, because it's more of a memoir kind of position, Cottywomple life. I'll have to, I can't ever remember the exact definition of Cottywomple, but look it up. It's an English slang word for something like marching off in a direction unknown, marching off intentionally in a direction unknown, kind of something like that. Anyway, look at it. I love that. Expert by Design. So expert, that came from the Expert Secrets book. It's a combination of the Expert Secrets book and Human Design in my head. That and it kind of was the precursor to, and it might end up being a product name, so that'd be okay, but it was a precursor to doing business as yourself, because I include, when I have the conversation, I include some degree of human design in with people's, what should I be doing to do business more authentically, more as myself. So the expert part comes from this Expert Secrets book, which is Russell Brunson's perfect webinar book, basically, which explains how you can niche down and be an expert in something, even if you don't feel like one. Become an expert in something, and then develop your web presence around a thing, a certain topic, an expert topic. My top tier income is a redirect. It used to go to a program that isn't currently available, but top tier income, high ticket affiliate income changed my life. So it's something that, it's all these things that are like little pieces of me that have they come out in these, this is how they come out. So I have one called Funnel Easy, which is a product page I actually developed. I don't somehow enjoy the product development side of things as much as anything as other people seem to, but Funnel Easy it still exists. You could go and buy it if you wanted. It's cheap. It walks people through sort of my mindset of how to post on social media and engage people that way for free. Basically, you still have to have the funnels and all that in place. And so part of what stops people with funnels is the actual building of them. And so that was somewhat addressed in that one. We're going to do more in this new project, which is the Doing Business as Yourself 12-month program that I am psyched about. I have one called KnowLoveTrust.com, which is I bought that one intending for it to be a sort of a I really enjoy some. I don't enjoy all of them, but the inspirational quote picture things that people post. And I thought maybe that could be like a place to host them. I think it points to a Facebook page right now. 1kwithvideo.com is something a project I could develop out, because it happens. The more video you do, the more you could become watched, I guess, observed, and when the time comes for a call to action to purchase something, 1K with video will be not even it's not a pipe dream. This is a really old one, leadgettingsystem.com. I can't seem to part with that one, although it's not really, like, I don't talk about lead getting so specifically anymore. yespleaseleads.com is an opt-in page. It also is connected to the Funnel Easy product at the moment. It's the same thing. It's an example of how I put a post online and make a call to action, and it draws people, either subscribers or to a sales conversation. The legendary book is at orderdavesbook.com, because I love it, and it seemed to be it actually needed a redirect. It needed its own domain so that it wasn't connected to their domains directly. Sometimes when you have an affiliate program that a lot of people are promoting, it can get kind of muddy in the eyes of Facebook and wherever, and they can block the links and stuff. And the last one that's on this list, and there's one more that I just bought that I really like also. I think it's going to be my podcast name. Messenger Bot Madness was just this one-off. I have an imp at the window. I don't know if you can see him. Yeah. Messenger Bot Madness. It was I think the domain is still live. It's a project that I started with somebody over the winter, and it kind of fizzled, I guess is the right word. Maybe we'll go back to that at some point. Anyway, the one that I just figured out, or came to me the other morning, usually it's first thing in the morning I buy these things, that I really am excited about, partly because it relates to my human design, and partly because it's what I do. I end up with people doing this thing. So the domain name is gettingtothebottomofthings.com, and I think what it's going to be is the podcast that goes with doing business as yourself. So the brand and product and program umbrella of doing business as yourself, which is where all of these sort of value content pieces are going to be born and live under. Gettingtothebottomofthings.com will be the podcast that goes with it, and that way they're not, I don't know, it just feels right. I don't know quite how it's going to work out. Anyway, I thought that, well, here's another thing we can do at some point. We can, if anybody's interested, let me know. This is my audience building opt-in projects template planning board, whatever. What I wanted to do, I've just now accomplished, is I wanted to show you how I think through domains, and how I come across people who have a domain or two and sweat the details that they haven't developed it out, or really are like, mea culpa, I haven't put it to use, and I spent $10 this year on it, and I have to just had to renew it again. You're in business. Suck it up and plan to invest in that thing for the next 30 years. What is that? $300 over the next 30 years. If you don't think you can make $300 with a domain, potentially, over the next 30 years, you need to not have it. But otherwise, if you think it's possible, just take it as part of doing business, okay? Anyway, that's my little tiny rant, because I have had that come up with people, and I can't relate at all, obviously. This is just, this is a third of the ones that I actually own. So, yeah, this is my current project list. things, my inspiration list, things that I, lit me up in the moment, and I sort of let ruminate. I have an emotional inner authority, if you're familiar with human design, which is a wave process, and I have to sit with things and let it sort of sort out. Do I actually feel like XYZ? And this allows me to do it if the answer becomes yes in the end. So yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to share sort of my domain ideas and how I think about it, and share yours down below if you'd like. I'm happy to have links in the comments. It just is, it's like that. I love sharing the wealth of attention if you want it. And I still have an imp in the window. He's not helping me at all. Kids. Okay. Well, anyway, have a super day, and subscribe, hit the notifications button. If there's links in the description, because I'll listen through this again. And no, he wants me to get off. If there's links, if there are links down below, then go ahead and check them out, investigate, look around. Be a student of other people's marketing, because it will lead to your own ideas if you're open to that. If you let your mind be open to that, and not just be a consumer. All right, gotta get out of here. It's almost time to take Morgan to school. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.